Ben with Super Pump Podcasts, and I am very humbled to share an experience that I had this morning. We were on our morning trek out through the Great Plains of the Serengeti, and it's very hot today. We were cruising along, and the sun just keeps getting higher and higher as we're rolling along. Anyway, about 3.5 hours in, we are parched, and we are just desperate for water break. But you walk in a line, and the guide determines when you stop for a break. Normally, we break under these big, beautiful trees like this one. We kept passing tree after tree. And finally, we stopped at a tree and he said, this is where we're going to have our water break. I was so excited. I was like, thank goodness. Then he walked up near the tree and maybe, 3 or 4 feet out, like in a clearing like this, he said, oh, there's a dead monkey. I was like, oh man. The first thought I had was, great, we're not going to have our water break under this tree because there's a dead monkey laying there. But then the unexpected happened. He went over and he picked the monkey up by the tail, the dead monkey, or what we thought was a dead monkey. Lo and behold, the monkey was just barely breathing. He went on to tell us that what happens is that the hawks hunt the monkeys. The way a hawk kills a monkey is it basically swoops into the tree, grabs the monkey, takes it way up high as it can take it, and then just drops it with a thud. It had dropped it and it banged through the trees and hit the ground, and it was in the process of dying. He ended up taking the monkey over to a small little bush. As the monkey was still just gasping for breath, laid it in the Y of the tree. And there's bonus footage related to this video, but he laid it in there, and the monkey, who was very far gone, wrapped its little hand around the branch and then just slowly was breathing. It was a really kind, touching moment. But then I thought, okay, we're going to leave and go to a different tree for our break. But instead, we didn't. We were there for the death of this monkey. We all sat down in silence, and the guide passed out dried mango, and we pulled out our water bottles, and we just sat there on the opposite side of the tree, so we couldn't see the monkey. For about 15 minutes, nobody said a word, but we all knew the monkey was dying. And then about 15 minutes in, the guide said to Robert, go check on the monkey and see if he's passed. Robert walked around, looked at the monkey, and the monkey had passed. And Robert reported that there were some ants coming up on the monkey and a couple of flies. But then Robert went and sat back down. And then we sat in silence for maybe another 30 minutes, just in my mind, thinking about this creature that had passed and how this circle of life that, there were no other monkeys around this monkey. And yet we were there for humans in that final time that the monkey died, and how the guide had been so kind as to put the monkey in a respectable, dignified position for its final breath. It was really just a touching time and was really impactful. And yet I was thinking how my initial reaction was, let's go on to the next tree. There's a monkey dying here. We shouldn't be a part of that. Maybe that's part of our Western culture where we have separated ourselves from death, but it really is a sacred time. Death is. And as a pastor, you get to be a part of that. Often I see families and loved ones forego that last opportunity. So I guess if there's any lesson I could draw from this monkey today, I would say in those final breaths, in those final moments, be present and just celebrate the life that was, celebrate that a life that is going to pass on, and just be a part of that. I think if you do that if you're my age and you're starting to see parents pass, I had the opportunity to be there when my mom passed, and that still is incredibly meaningful. Even though it's hard, even though we might want to go on to the next tree and ignore the monkey that's drawing its last breath because it's hard and it's difficult, be present, be there, and I think you will be rewarded for it. Thanks for joining me today, and thanks to the Serengeti and that monkey and that hawk for letting me in on that piece of the circle of life. If you've ever dreamed of pressing pause and rediscovering what makes your heart sing, I invite you to follow along on our YouTube channel or on Super Pumped Life on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I'll be posting every day, not only a podcast, but updates, stories, bonus coverage, and reflections through this super pumped adventure. If you're one of our awesome audio-only listeners, I would encourage you to go over to YouTube to see the incredible video footage of all that is going on in this 40-day super pumped adventure in the wilderness. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow.